Yo, YouTube, what's up? So, after my last video, I actually got contacted by a fellow Leica Photography Discord member. Discord link. My buddy, he reached out to me and said, you want to borrow a Ricoh GR3? And I said, hell yeah. So we're talking about the Ricoh GR3. Like I talked about before, I actually own this camera. I owned it during the summer of 2020. During that year, like a lot of you, I didn't get to do as much photography. I wasn't going out as much. And at that time, I was strictly a film photographer. I actually owned a Leica M6. And it was the camera that I exclusively shot with for probably about 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer. The Ricoh GR3, I decided to get it. The move towards digital was appealing at the time, and I was just going out for walks, doing small little things. I didn't want to burn through precious film shots that I had to pay for every single one of the crappy shots I got while out on a walk. So I felt a little cute digital point and shoot would be the right way to go. And I actually ended up selling my M6 a few months later because I, well, not necessarily liked the Ricoh GR3 so much, but I liked digital and I liked autofocus. I ended up selling the GR as well, and I got my Q2. So that's how I got rid of my my M6. Now that I have the GR back and I'm using my Q, how does it stand up? Is it still as good as I remembered without my rose-tinted glasses on? Does it hold up? Well, I've had it for a week now, and to be frank, not really. No. Especially the first few days I was using it. I got it on a Friday night, and that night I didn't really know how I felt about the camera. I didn't have enough time. I was out in the streets kind of running and gunning, mostly just shot with a Q instead of the GR. But on Saturday, I actually got the full chance to kind of give the camera a rundown, fiddle with it, get used to it. And it kind of gave me a little bit of perspective on the camera. And actually I have some notes. I'll be right back. We're gonna talk about the pros and we're gonna talk about the cons. Some of the pros about this bad boy: it's tiny, it's super duper small, fits in your pocket. Actually, every single day this week, I have brought it to work with me, brought it out on every single walk that I've gone to, pretty much everywhere I've had the GR with me. Next thing that goes along with its tiny size is its impressively large sensor. It's an APS-C sensor, super duper huge considering its size. Other cameras that are similarly sized, like the Sony ZV-1, are a 1-inch sensor comparatively. This also has a fixed lens, which is a pro in this instance. Gives you a bunch of cool functions like built-in NDs, macro mode, and the lens itself is super duper sharp. It's 18.3 millimeter, which is about a 28 millimeter equivalent in full frame terms, which, as I've mentioned before, 28 is my favorite focal length. So bang on, great job on that, Ricoh. The controls, really, really great. You can just one-hand it, shoot, change all of your stuff. No need for a second hand. This one actually has a thumbs up, which I didn't think would really be needed. I do like it. It does help give a tad bit more purchase on the GR, which, it being so small, fits in your hand really, really nicely, but that thumb grip, just hold it. Not going anywhere. There's also kind of a cool factor to it. The GR has a tad bit of a cult behind it. People love it. If you're out shooting with a GR, someone else knows what a GR is. It's cool as heck. You know, you're kind of stealthy street photography. It has a lot of street photography heritage. Daido Moriyama, go look him up. Here's a great video about Daido Moriyama if you're interested. The cons: this bad boy has no EVF, which might not be that big of a deal for you guys. For me, I like an EVF. Whenever I think of my shots, it's me framing them to my eye. That's how I see it. With this, kind of just hold it out in front of you and you look kind of, oh, there's the shot. I don't like that. The LCD on the back also, since you're going to be forced to almost exclusively using the LCD, that's unless you use one of the OVFs, which I don't really like the OVFs. I had the OVF before and it's not really the best. It's a little bit strange. So you're using the LCD, which even on the highest setting is still pretty dark. And if you're in super bright sunlight, it's a little bit hard to see, which makes it difficult to frame, which kind of isn't the best thing. To the next one is that this camera doesn't have very good battery life. So if you are cranking that LCD up, you're gonna be running through this battery easily on an hour-long walk, not even taking massive numbers of photos, but leaving it on the whole time, kind of moving around, framing up shots, whatever it might be. I would easily go through half the battery. So if you're going out for an entire day's worth of shooting, you're gonna need to bring some batteries. Ugh. I've got 2 extra batteries. I haven't had to break them out, but if I was going out for a full day of shooting, I would probably have to break them out. Ooh, a pro I forgot is that this bad boy does have a USB Type-C port on it, which can be used for video out to use it as a webcam, but you can also attach a power bank to it, and it has a PD, so power delivery, so it charges pretty darn quickly, which is a big pro. So if you're out, you only have 1 battery, you can attach your power bank to it and charge up that way, which is a super awesome pro. Huge con, big con, the big boy on this one is it is a delicate camera. This lens that protrudes, if that comes out and it's in your pocket or your bag, you run the risk of breaking the motor that runs the lens function. Pretty much kaput at that point. Lens doesn't work, camera doesn't work. The next part of it being delicate is the wheel wobble, which there's some reviews online that'll tell you it's fake news.
Fake news.
Well, they just haven't ran into it because this GR does have the wheel wobble and it is annoying. Sometimes the wheel wants to work, sometimes it doesn't. The worst part is whenever you hit OK, sometimes it'll just move your selection, which is very, very frustrating and can make something that's supposed to be a quick and stealthy street camera into something that's a little bit cumbersome and annoying. That's no good. This camera, if you look, it has a little bit of wear, but there are certain precautions that were taken with this camera to ensure that it stayed in good shape, such as the tape along the edge, the stick-on front element filter, things along the lines of that. So this camera was used, but it was taken care of, and it still exhibits the wheel wobble, which that's a little bit scary. Now, luckily, this isn't something like a Leica where you're spending massive amounts of money on it. This camera can be had for about $800 to $900, and on the used market, it doesn't go for that much cheaper, but you can get it for about $700 to $800, which is a fairly reasonable amount considering the quality of this camera. Now, we're gonna go back to my very beginning where I said I didn't really like this camera very much whenever I first started using it. The autofocus, this is a con as well. Autofocus, super duper slow. Surprising. Actually attempted to get instances of it wanting to freak out while autofocusing on video, and I managed to get one while shooting this video. So I'm gonna put that in here. This is it not wanting to autofocus. Super duper annoying, and it does this in good lighting, bad lighting, sunny days. So despite this camera having phase detect autofocus, the Q blows it out of the water with its contrast detect. The S5 blows it out of the water with its contrast detect. I don't know what's going on with that necessarily. You do have snap focus, which is you full press the shutter button and it snaps to a predetermined distance. I have it typically set at 1.5 to 2 meters depending on what I'm doing. If you're out in the streets and you know kind of the distance that you're going to be focusing at, you can set it there and boom, take your shots, and that works out really well. You don't have to worry about the camera thinking about focusing or anything like that, but you're stuck at a single distance, and it's not nearly as easy as like a focus scale or hyperfocal distance focusing, or hyperfocal, or as easy as something like hyperfocal distance, hyperfocal, or as easy as something like hyperfocal focusing. Whew, that was hard as hell for me to say. I'll be honest. So about halfway through the week, I had almost made my mind up on this camera. It wasn't as good as I remembered it. It was slow. The images, oftentimes at higher ISO values, would come out noisy. But the more I shot with it, the more I brought the camera with me just through my day-to-day, I realized kind of what this camera is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be some sort of photographic tool that is hardcore and gets every single shot. It's something a little bit more special. This camera felt like less of a tool as I used it and more of a companion, if that makes sense. It joined me for my walks. It joined me on my day at work. I liked that. I was going about just kind of, if I saw a moment that was fun or interesting in front of me, I would take the shot. No, few of them came out looking really good, but whenever you take a shot and you get something good with a little bitty camera like this, you're proud of it. And you feel good that you're able to capture a cool moment or make a good photo with a little bitty camera like this, where if you take a crappy photo with something like the Leica Q2, it's all on you. It's you messing up that photo, not the camera. So it has kind of a bit of an underdog appeal to it, a modesty. I remembered that's what appealed to me about this camera. I enjoyed the small form factor, the ease of use, the modest characteristics of it. Now, whenever you're out and about, you're not going to impress anyone shooting with a GR3. You might even look a little bit strange going to take shots with it. Despite what people say, I don't think it's necessarily the best street photography camera. But if you're looking for a second camera to carry with you whenever you're out and about, and you want something a little bit higher quality and a little bit more fun than your cell phone, this kind of becomes the perfect camera for that. If you're going around, maybe on walks, going out and about, you wanted a camera for travels, whatever it might be, and you're comfortable with a fixed focal length, 28mm equivalent, this might be the camera for you. My previous statement of if someone was looking for a Q2, I would recommend them the GR. I think I'd still do that. I think if someone was wanting maybe a second camera, not their only camera, I would recommend this. It's really fun, it's enjoyable, it's adorable. It's a great camera. It feels like a little companion. Now, am I going to go out and buy one now? Probably not, but I have been on eBay a lot looking at GR1s. So, the long and short of it, GR3. It's a really fun camera. Might not be the best, but I don't think that's what it's trying to be. I think it just wants to be fun and eager and cute and something you want to take out with you. I don't even know how to wrap these up anymore, but I guess from here, I just wanted to say thanks for all the support that I got for my last video. You guys have been great. Huge amount of love through the comments, even on my Instagram, and I really appreciate that. If you guys do like this video, I would really appreciate if you guys hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out, shows me that I'm doing something well. If you guys have any comments or critiques, comment section below, let me know what I'm doing or even what you want to see from me next. More camera reviews, if you want to hear me talk about street photography or my personal experiences with street photography, let me know. And if you guys like me and like what I'm doing, the best way you can show support is hitting that subscribe button as well. I'd really appreciate that. That shows me, subscribe. It's awesome. But yeah, from there, thanks so much, guys. You have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side. Adios. See you later. Bye. Oh yeah. Editing Nick here. I just wanted to say thanks to Julian for letting me borrow his GR3. Right here is his Instagram. Go follow him, tell him that Nick sent you, show him some love, because without him, this video wouldn't have happened. I appreciate you so much. Thanks a lot, Julian. You are the man.